Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities, work our way through dollar yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. If you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. We still have a discount coupon code going on. LEAP if you are interested. I've left it open where you get 50% off the first month if you want to try it. And you can always move to the yearly membership if you like the service. So let's dive in here. I'm going to give you my financial opinions as we go, and let's see what today has in store for us. So the DXY still working its way on up, and that still looks to be the path of least resistance at this current time. And I think the dollar will continue to gain strength against the currencies that it is measured against. It does not mean that the dollar is literally gaining strength. It is gaining strength against all these currencies that are falling in value. And that does determine money flows to some extent. And when the dollar is weaker, that's generally where emerging markets and some of these other sectors start to waken up. And when I mean wake up, I mean they wake up. The 2-year yield, we've been moving sideways this entire time here. We've been in this, channel here for the most part. Stronger day today. It does look like it wants to try to move on up. Uh, but for the most part, it's been moving sideways. We had a larger candlestick today. We'll see if we get any traction in either direction. If I were to make a guess, we are probably going to go higher after this big move today. But overall, sideways is the momentum. 10-year yield, we are slightly higher today with a little bit of momentum loss throughout the day. We've had strength in oil, and that generally manifests itself with higher yields. But there is talk of Powell and maybe some of these guys not raising rates or maybe even lowering rates. So the 10-year is more of a natural market. Well, what we think is more of a natural market driven interest rate. But we'll see. It's been moving sideways for the most part in this general area with a slight move upward. And I think that's still all intact to continue with that slight move upward in the 10-year yield. The 30-year yield also right at support resistance, a little bit of resistance right above us. And we've just been tracking sideways with a slight tinge of upward bias where the lows and the highs are just slightly working its way on up. TYX TNX ratio, it is down. The yield curve inverted, but gold did not give a crap about that. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the breakdown with the relationship of some of this stuff. Yield curve's been moving sideways and it's been highly inverted. For the most part, though, it's been a great spot to be buying precious metals at those locations. If we do get an uninversion, gold's the spot to be, in my opinion. TLT moving sideways, not much action in yields, just pulling on back right into that support zone. So that's what we've got for bond prices on the 20-year. And then the 2 and 10, again, yield curve inversion, where the 2-year shot higher than the longer end of the curve. And we are staying inverted higher for a lot longer than most other markets in history. Looking at gold, gold absolutely ripping it up to $28 an ounce. We've broken out of this and it's never been better. We haven't looked back from that point of the breakout. Yeah, we've had a little bit of a consolidation. Yeah, it looked like we had a little bit of JP Morgan in there, but nope, we are going higher. We are ripping. It looks fantastic, guys. Full stride. There we go. Silver. Now, silver, we're up about 1%. We're right at that trend line. I am surprised we haven't ripped out of this downtrend line and just start going at it to the upside. I do think that's in store for us here at any point. I don't know exactly when, but I think we're getting closer and closer to that launch point. This is also a monthly close. There's the weekly. Here's the monthly. The monthly closed at 20, almost 25 bucks. We're probably pretty close to a breakout. We'll see. But that looks fantastic. And again, gold's our leader. Gold's breaking out. I think silver's probably going to follow soon. Platinum also up 1.3%, matching gold's performance. This to me looks really, really good. Um, I don't know if we've been held down like silver. I don't know if they're trying to hold these metals down or what. If they are, thank you, because I purchased a bunch in this general location. And I do think we will eventually break and move to a land far, far away from the current pricing. There's your trend line there that we're trying to break. Palladium, also a pretty big day. I'm going to back out and give you guys the skinny here. Here's the kind of spot here, double top, breakout, retest, buy it, and buy it. And then we hit up against that resistance, broke out to a new level up there, and we're doing the retest thing. And we'll probably retest for a little bit, but I do think we'll probably hold in this general location and move sideways for palladium. And we'll see if we get a bounce here. It looks pretty strong, up 3% today. And this does look like a little bottoming pattern that we've broken, retest, shoot it to the upside, baby. XAU to gold ratio, the gold and silver mining companies absolutely ripping it because gold was ripping it. And we are up 1.4% in relationship to gold. We haven't broken out of the long-term downtrend yet, but I think that we have the momentum that we're starting to generate, I think is going to carry us into that resistance line, and we'll see if we can break it. If we break it, I'm going to be the most bullish gold and silver mining person that you're going to know on planet Earth. I do think it's probably going to break it at some point here. I do think that we're going to have an everything run where everything could run at once. You know, gold, silver, a lot of these other commodities, they all kind of run together. And that would come from a weaker dollar. And that's kind of what I think is coming next. That's the next phase of this bull market. CRB index ripping to the upside, looking fantastic, 1.23%. Commodities are alive and well. CRB index versus the S&P 500, we're going to start getting outperforming here, I think, and start moving to the upside. And we're probably going to make this next leg. It's going to be a big leg. It's a big valuation change if we get this type of movement. And I just have this overlaid. I took this one over here and overlaid it on top of it, and that's what it would look like. It doesn't mean that we can't go all the way, up here, which we can. I'm just using that as a visual. So GDX up 2.1 something percent, looking pretty good. We've got GDXJ up 2.24, and we're starting to break these downtrend lines. We're starting to break the patterns. That is what we want. And then we're probably going to make our move to the upside. This is a good time to be looking at potential investments. SILJ also breaking its falling wedge to the upside. Looks fantastic. Man, if we can get silver to play here, guys, there's something here that I will say. I'll just show you guys something. This could occur. I'm not saying it will, but it could. I'm an optimist. I get it. What if we do one of these things with silver breaking that big cup and handle, and then we do that? What if something like that occurs? Very well possible. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I am hoping for. And I know hope doesn't get me much, but we'll continue to watch silver and see if silver gets moving. And I think SILJ could be a absolute stunning move in SILJ. Crude oil up 2%. Look at that, guys. We are playing with the upper resistance level. We broke this little guy here today, and we've got some more work to do. I've got this awesome Here is the, oh, I hate when I do that. I grabbed this guy from this. I stretched it out, overlaying on top of the fractal, the move, the first wave that we've got. And if it's non-logarithmic, it gives me a price somewhere between $400 and $600. This is a blow off top. The top may not be that big. We might only reach, 350 to 500 maybe is a potential move, and the move could occur early 2030s. Seems good to me. Seems about right. Coming back, we've got TTF nat gas right on support, squeezing on up, and we'll see where that goes. Natural gas in America, we're up today, but again, just it's going to take some time. Let's work through the inventory, cut back on production. It'll come. It'll come. Our boy XOP, yeah, you know me, ripping it up 1.5% about, breaking through the neckline. This could be see ya, wouldn't want to be ya to a much higher level, which I think is a high probability. So XOP is looking fantastic. Pretty strong closing too, which looks good. OIH, not as strong of a closing, kind of a disappointment here today, given the strength of oil. But still, momentum's to the upside, still looks fantastic, and we can still get a very large move in the energy service companies with oil moving on up. Sprout Physical Uranium Trust down a little bit today. It's not a ton of selling pressure here, guys. It's I could very easily be won over here to the long side. I'm not seeing a ton of selling pressure, which is exactly what we want to see. Think of this as a flag pattern. We could easily rip out of here at any second. With energy, oil, specifically in commodities, starting to strengthen, I could see uranium starting to move here. I just want to make sure that the sellers are cleared out of here, and it does look like they could be. I'll leave that there and see if we can get moving to the upside. URA, little bit of an update today, but again, not a ton of selling pressure over here. So maybe the sellers are clear. We'll see. We'll wait and see if we get any large candlesticks either to the upside or downside as the buyers and sellers battle it out here. Uranium doing the same thing. We do have a lot of support here. There's a lot of buyers here that are going to support in this region underneath us. That doesn't mean that we're immune, that we're not immune to a pullback, but not a ton of selling pressure here, and it doesn't mean it can't show up. But we'll continue to monitor it and watch it. URNJ, same thing. Not a ton of selling or buying pressure going on, and we had a nice good candlestick here. Sellers aren't ripping it to the downside, so maybe they're exhausted. Maybe. Big impulse, smaller impulse, and I'm looking for the sellers. Maybe this is all they got, and maybe we can work our way on up. But I just don't want to see a big red down candlestick signaling a further downside move. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. I want to see which direction we go here. Not that it matters. I'm long term no matter what. Tan just moving sideways, a little bloody nose, still looks good to go higher. Probably likes lower interest rates. Copper, again, it looks like we're trying to turn here and put in a bottom where we eventually explode to the upside. I know the copper inventories are on the upper end over in China. So did they push this up on purpose? I don't know. We'll see. But they could also be stockpiling before a potential tightness in the market too, which that's also pretty smart. COPX, the copper miners ripping it 2.5% up today. It looks really good to go and drift its way on to the upside. Looks really strong. Broken out here, and I think we've got a big move coming for copper. The copper ETF, COPX. Lithium down a little bit today. Probably doesn't like higher yields, but still looks good to go higher. Still looks good. REMX, same thing. Still looks good to go higher. Nice big bullish engulfing yesterday. Update today, 1.3%. S&P 500 still defying the laws of gravity, as gravity cannot act on this and bring it back down. And then NASDAQ also still working its way sideways. It's hanging in there. It's hanging in there, but we'll see where those go. Regional banking ETF looking good to move on higher. Maybe that's the bullishness in the housing market. Emerging markets doesn't like the higher rates and higher dollar, just moving sideways, consolidating at this point. We've got XHB continuing to work its way on up. We have a serious housing shortage that we need to build our way out of if we can. Affordability is most likely not going to get better, and we are going to continue our way on up. Moo looks great here. We've broken out of the downtrend, and I think we are going to work our way on up. It looks really good for a long-term position there. Iron ore down a little bit. I know inventory's been up. We kind of lost our way here, and we've been zigzagging lower, stair-stepping lower is what I call it. And that does look like it could potentially continue in the short term. Nickel down a little bit, but I do think we're basing out a little bit here. Pretty strong selling pressure on the week. We'll see and continue to monitor it to see what next week looks like. If it's a big down day like that, then yeah, we're going lower. But we'll watch it. Aluminum looking quite strong today, up 1.5%, looking great for a potential move that continues hopefully to the upside. And we might launch in aluminum. This is generally the dead period. You get a move up, move back. You can see that these move backs are smaller and smaller. We are squeezing up for what I think is going to be a big move to the upside. We are positioned for that on the website. Hopefully you guys are in it. It is absolutely ripping, the ones that we are in. Baltic Dry Index down a little bit with iron ore. Iron ore is the driver here, guys. Iron ore and coal is what drives Baltic mostly. And iron ore is down, so Baltic is down. Newcastle coal still working its way. I do think we're going to work our way on up. Energy's starting to move up a little bit. Natural gas is still low, which is a competing fuel with coal. But I think natural gas, as the year progresses, will go up and along with coal. BTC continuing to look strong. Do we have more upside here? It still looks good, and we potentially could. Ethereum also up today. I can't help but wonder, is this a bearish setup? I don't know. We'll see. Looks like we could be kind of squeezing here where we could dive back down and do an ABC correction. So this would be ABC correction, something like that. Maybe. We'll watch it. Looking at super microcomputer, I still have that in there. We were down a little bit today. Could it be a topping pattern? Very well could. And then NVIDIA also sideways today, but we are getting these big down days creeping in. It doesn't mean that we will, automatically and immediately go down. We could go and chop for a while. And then we'll have to see what candlesticks come about in that chop. So that's what those two look like, and those are kind of the big leaders at this time. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Thumb up for the content, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the website, and a lot of things commodity-wise look pretty strong, at least the ones that I follow, and they look pretty good in the precious metals and oil markets. So let's hope they can continue on higher. All right, guys, we'll catch you later. This is Finding Value.